Good evening, Clark. What's going on, my friend? All right, it's Thursday night, and you know what that means. Good evening, everybody. It is May the 22nd in the year of my Lord, 2025. Broadcasting live as we do most Thursdays from a balmy smoke therapy, Ronkonkoma, New York. Balmy. It's 47 and a half degrees outside. Holy Hannah. I mean, where's Greta Thunberg? Global warming my ass. If you know what I mean. Harold Clark. I am duo in the statal. So the Mets salvaged one game against oh my goodness, who'd they play? How do I forget this? Guys, help me out. I'm dying over here. Line woman. Wahoo! Against the Red Sox. So I don't know how I forgot that. The Mets salvaged one game up in Boston with an impressive performance by one Brett Beatty. Yeah, old age. Lonnie, you're not kidding me, my friend. Old age is an understatement. Anyway, Brett Beatty showing that he wants to stay this time around. I think it's his third time around the rock, and it appears that he's playing to stay. It's going to be interesting when Mauricio gets the call up. Clark, we got to put that up on the big screen, my friend. He heard that the Cardinals are looking to trade Ali Marmol to the Mets for a beer man and a hot dog vendor to be named later. That's kind of funny. Sure, we already got Mendoza. Who is Mendoza? I have no idea who this guy is. I mean, the Mets are in a sad state of affairs right now concerning one Juan Soto, and it made me start to scratch my head. Before I go down that rabbit hole, I wanted to bring attention to all my family on Angie's Angles that once again, the New York Mets must be dialing in silently and watching Angie's Angles, because what happened last night? Juan Soto became the number 3 hitter. We dropped Pete the 4th, like I've been screaming all season long. I mean, God's sakes, it's about time now. I don't really approve Marte batting second, but it made somewhat sense because Marte has been proven he can't hit the breaking pitch anymore. And in number 2 position after Lindor and before Soto, he see a good dosage of fastballs, which he could still handle in the big leagues. Hey, Nick, good to see you too. Nick Triano representing Adelphi University. What's up? Mark Brooks, my brother from another. I am Triestatal. So the whole Juan Soto thing, and last night his first 2 at bats were horrendous, absolutely pitiful. 2 strikeouts, and then 1 at bat he didn't even swing. He just kept his bat on his shoulder, and these pitches were right down Broadway. I mean, come on, Juan, give us a little effort, just a little bit. So I'm reading a lot of articles. You all know I belong in a lot of Met Facebook pages and groups. And the one common denominator that I'm seeing, and it's actually been spoken about in the press, Mike Piazza got behind him, the acclimation process, the acclimation period. Now I'm gonna come straight out, and I'm gonna call bullshit on the acclimation issue. We've all been in our disciplined industries our whole lives, right? I've been in hospitality my entire existence. Some of us might have had multiple careers. I actually did. I was in the door business for a handful of years. So I get changing careers and being maybe a little intimidated, a little overwhelmed, if you will, trying to get your feet underneath you. But Juan Soto's a baseball player. He could be playing in Oshkosh, Bigosh, or Mars for all I give a crap. You still got to hit the ball, catch the ball, throw the ball. Carmen dialing it up from Boston. What's going on, my friend? And congrats. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf would say. Or would have said. God rest his soul. Carmen, we're talking about Juan Soto and how disgusting he looked in his first 2 at-bats last night. And the optics of him not caring. It appears that nothing phases this kid. And that he's overwhelmed. He feels uneasy. Listen, if the birth certificate is valid, we all tend to forget how young he is. He's 26 years old, even though he's had a stellar baseball career to date. He is still 26 years old. However, back in the day, and I'm sure you call, hey, Tom, thanks for dialing in. I appreciate you. I think we call it a test that they don't build them like they built us back in the day. Even my own children, for God's sakes, the anxiety level is through the roof. Now, is it the water? Is it the chemtrails? We won't jump down that rabbit hole right now, but we will one day explore the rabbit hole on the chemtrails. So I did some research. I said, we're not that far removed from 2021 when he got traded over from the Expos, the Nationals to the San Diego Padres. And in that year, he batted, he had 27 home runs, 63 RBIs, and batted to basically a 249 average. And we're 4 years removed from that season. It was a mixed season. He left the Nationals to go to the West Coast, and he wound up with the Padres. Hey, Terry, what's going on, Ter? How are you? Thanks for dialing in. I appreciate you. So we wanted to dive in and understand what's going on. So I hit the computer today. I spent a little time, spent my lunch hour on the computer. And I think you're going to be very, very impressed with my reporting abilities, my research abilities, and what I found out. Thanks, Ter. So I said, okay, we're at the 50 game mark for the New York Mets, Juan Soto's career. And they said, I think he played a handful of games for the Padres. So I looked it up. This is the comparison once he joined the Padres and his first 50 games as a New York Met. And if this doesn't really make you go, I'm not really sure if I can make you go, Here we go. So the first number I'm going to give you is his San Diego Padre number. And the second number will be his New York Met number. So games played. He played a total of 52 games for the Padres. He's currently played 49 games. We gave him a day off. With the Padres, he had 182 at-bats. With the Mets, he's had 177. Makes sense. He missed a game. The runs scored for the Padres, he had 31 runs scored. With the Mets, he's had 33. Here's where it gets very interesting. Hits for the Padres, he had 43. And so far with the New York Metropolitans, he's got 43 hits. He had 8 doubles with the Padres, 9 for the Mets. 1 triple with the Padres, none for the Mets because he doesn't hustle. He hit 6 home runs in those 52 games with the Padres. He's got 8 in 49 games with the Mets. His RBI total is also interesting. He's got 16 RBIs as a Padre and 21 as a New York Met. He's gotten 44 walks with the Padres and 39 with the Mets. His strikeouts, he had 34 in 52 games. He's got 37 in 49 games with the Mets. He had 0 stolen bases. He's already up in the high echelon levels of 6 with the New York Mets. And his average in those 52 games with the Padres was at 236. And with the New York Metropolitans, it's 243. And his first 50 games per se, 52-49, the average comes up to 50. His on-base percentage with the Padres was 388. He's doing a 374 clip with the Mets. His slugging percentage with the Padres was 390. He's at 429. And his OPS was 778 and 803 with the New York Mets. So this is really, really, really interesting. Does it take him 50 games to get going? I mean, these numbers are identical from going from an old team to a new team. So in 2021, he went from the Nationals to the Padres. And this year, he came from the Skankies to the Mets. So is there something to be said about the acclimation process? And before I dive into that with my Angie's Angles twisted view of this, a lot of people coming out to support the acclimation project, including one Mike Piazza. Now, Mike had that happen to him. Keith Hernandez, when he came over to the Mets, he hated the trade. He hated it. He didn't want to be there. We were a bunch of, wannabes. He came in the cusp of our greatness, and it defined and made the rest of his career. But even he speaks that it took a while for him to get comfortable in New York. Now, sure, Soto came from the Bronx, and he's already familiar and indoctrinated into the New York media, sure. But it is a new team. I'm going to give him a half a pass. I'm going to give him a complete half pass, not a full pass. We'll give him a half pass with the whole acclimation process, okay, if you will. I'm interested in hear some theories and some comments from my family here on Angie's Angles as I take a sip of my favorite beer ever, Guinness. Fantastic beer. Yeah, Nick, Soto stunk in his Yankee Stadium return. And I was a little surprised by that. And I'll own up to it. I predicted the Mets taking 2 out of 3. We took 1 out of 3. I predicted Soto hitting 3 home runs. He hit none. As a matter of fact, he stunk. He was in absolute situations where he could have produced, and he failed valiantly. Or maybe not valiantly for those keeping track at home. And I know you are. So, with this information I just provided here live on Angie's Angles, 215 Smoke Therapy, Ron Conkman, New York. Come on down if you're ever in the neighborhood. You can't dispute the numbers. It's on paper as being legit. Terry, we're going to put you on the big board. Terry says, well, I feel it has to be hard to start in a new team in the same city, especially when it's the rival team. Well, Terry, it is the rival team. It's the New York rivalry, but the Mets own the back pages, hon. Let's not kid anybody on that, please. Eric Schuster, as always, welcome to Angie's Angles, Eric. And Eric, your Yasmani Grandal as the best catcher since the turn of the century, and we're talking about the 2000th century, not the 1900th century, okay? We're talking about the 21st century, not the 20th. So, Yasmani Grandal, he of the steroids, that's a bad pick, buddy. Your man, bro, romances, your bromances with these players, i.e. Jose Reyes, Yasmani Grandal. I mean, I see a little connection here. If you know what I mean. So, Lindor kind of found his stroke again, hitting the home run last night. Beatty's been hotter than hell. Alonso is hitting the ball hard. That's what we want to see. But he's starting to lean over the plate and swing at those unhittable outside sliders. So he needs to come back. Bruce Keston, I am quadruple interstatal. All the slow start statistics you named don't count for the fact that he's not hustling. Bruce, you're not wrong, and I did bring that up. I did address his optics, right? It looks like he's not giving a damn. It looks like every ball he hits to the outfield, he thinks it's a home run. So he holds the bat poses for the cameras and jogs to first. All agreed, Bruce. But if we remember something, folks, we were booing Francisco Lindor not that long ago. We kind of have short memories in New York. And you have to dig deep to realize that Lindor had a shitty first year as New York Met with that $300 million contract. Let's not kid anybody. And now he's everybody wants to take him to the prom. So, hey, Harold, it was one game for Pete. He's been showing that outside swing and miss on the sliders before the move. I think Pete is very, very comfortable in his skin. I think Pete's a different person. He's definitely hustling greater than he's ever hustled. So Juan Soto, take note. But I mean, Tyler McGill last night was dialing it. I've never seen this kid throw so hard and pinpoint accuracy. And once again, Juan Mendoza, who he pulled McGill too soon. Let the kid work it out. He was dialing last night. It was tremendous output from Tyler McGill. So Nick's giving us update. Clayton Kershaw is back in pitching tomorrow against us, but he has an 11.25 ERA. This is where we strike and jump on him. Well, Nick, apparently New York is the Aborigine grounds, or maybe even the Fountain of Youth. Who was the guy that discovered the Fountain of Youth? It wasn't LaFontaine. He was the Islander. It was the Fountain of Youth, but who discovered it? Some history buffs, help me out with that. Clayton Kershaw, for all I know, could throw a no-hitter tomorrow night. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised. Eric, what's going on, my friend? Thanks for dialing in. I appreciate you. I am quintuple in the state of Ponce de Leon. Thank you, Harold. I love you, brother. At least your brain cells are working better than mine, my friend. Ponce de Leon and the Fountain of Youth. So, Citi Field could be Clayton Kershaw's Fountain of Youth. And I, for one, wouldn't be surprised, but I also will say this. The Dodgers have been reeling a little bit lately. They got swept by the Angels in that rivalry weekend. And I wouldn't be surprised if we give the Dodgers a hard time. I wouldn't be surprised at all. It's our first meetup since the playoffs of last year, and we all know how well that went. We were in every game. We were in every single game. Pitching ultimately failed us. Clock. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't Jose De Leon. Clock making me laugh. That's very funny. But for those that missed it, I did go look it up yourselves, or maybe I'll even post it on Facebook or YouTube, or rewatch the beginning of the segment. Please go to YouTube. Angie's Angles on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Believe it or not, folks. And this goes out to Brett Maletta. He's been my Jiminy Cricket in my ear, telling me my thumbnails suck every week after week after week. I have to face him on Fridays and say, I'm sorry, I'll do better. He 100% approved of my thumbnail last week. I hope he approves tonight's thumbnail. I'm working hard on being creative and getting it out there. But we had 193 views on my podcast. That is a new record for Angie's Angles on YouTube. Not to be forgotten is the Facebook viewers. I had 1.8K viewers last week. It ties my record. 1,800 views. Post podcast is the most I've ever had on Facebook, and 193 on YouTube is the most I've ever had. So Angie's Angles is growing, and that's all due to you. I appreciate all you spreading the word, logging on to YouTube instead of Facebook and watching me live over there. It is greatly appreciated. Kevin was put into the witness protection program. Clark. Yes, thank you, Eric. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Harold. Yes, I'm starting to gain some traction. So I'm very happy about that. I am this is the first Thursday post my cigar weekend, which it was the Smokinos and the Poconos. It was a fantastic friend bonding, cigar smoking, pulled pork eating, firework watching weekend. It was just phenomenal. We are doing it again next year. I'm already looking at some Airbnbs. Most likely, I'll be going up that Thursday night to avoid the 5.5-hour traffic ride at noon on Friday that I experienced on the Belt Parkway. It took me 62 minutes to go 10 miles, for God's sakes. I mean, Jesus Christmas. Anyway, we anticipate to have more Long Island fellas going up with us to the Poconos, and maybe we'll even get shirts made up because there were a lot of guys. I saw the Waterbury Cigar Club. That's fond and passionate with me and Babs. That was one of our first dates we went, was to Waterbury, Connecticut. And let me tell you about that experience. I'll save that for another night as we're running out of time here on Angie's Angles. So the storyline on tonight's podcast is Juan Soto's almost exact replicated stats from his first 50 games with the Padres and his first 50 games with the New York Metropolitans. They're uncanny. They match number to number by number. They're off by minuscule points, if any at all. The fact that he has the same amount of hits is remarkable. I mean, his walks are just, 5 walk difference. His strikeouts is 3. His RBIs is 5. I mean, it's uncanny. Vinny Growley, I'm going to put you on the big screen. He is perhaps, besides Babs and Terry, my favorite Skanky fan in the universe. What's up, Vin? See that? I even mentioned the Skankies in your honor. Thanks for joining us, Vinny. You just made my night, my friend. I'm glad I saw you. Vin, if you're ever into cigars, you got to come down to Ronkonkoma. I'll buy you a cigar. We'll share a Guinness, and we'll talk about the Mets and the Skankies until the cows come home. So we're going to see how this plays out with Juan Soto. We're going to see now. The honeymoon period is over for Juan Soto. He's got 50 games in his back pocket. Let's see what comes up on this Dodger weekend, where the spotlight's definitely going to be on him. The Dodgers, like I said, have been reeling. They've been dropping games here and there. Come back to the pack, but that is also baseball, correct? I mean, Vinny, this is for you, champ. If you're still listening, as great of a player as Aaron Judge is, he apparently takes the month of October off, Vinny. I mean, let's call it spade a spade. I mean, you could bat 400 all season long, and when you bat $180 in the playoffs and drop a ball in center field, you're not showing up. If you know what I mean. All right, guys and gals, we're at the prayer circle hour. We got some new additions, sadly, and let's go through it if we can. Harold, we're praying for your brother-in-law, Frank. I need an update as he had the triple bypass. And we're praying for Dawn Squared, your wife and your co-worker. Scott Tobias, we touched base today. You're going to find some time to make it to one of the podcasts. That'd be great. Praying for you, sir, and your wife and your mom as always. Linda, Grandma Stein, we're praying for your dad, yourself, and the newborn. Mark Brooks, my brother from another. The house is coming along great. They're starting to buy furniture. They're starting to fill it with new furniture and, more importantly, new memories. Kevin Elliott, a.k.a. in the FBI Witness Protection Program. We're praying for your health challenges, my friend. Kraus family, we always get you on our mind. Clark, we're praying for everybody down there. Brother-in-law Brad, all good news, thank God. Deb and Lee, we're praying for you guys down in Maryland. Marianne Bello, my good friend from high school, we're praying for you and your mom. Larry Levy, we're praying for your wife Frida as she battles cancer, keeping it in remission. Mr. McGowan, sir, Mr. McGowan, like I reported last week, is home. He's rehabbing, and stay tuned for updates on Mr. McGowan. Big John and Smoke Lounge, Cousin Richie, Phil's known of Brother Angelo's friend Dave. Tom, we're praying for Paul and Janet, although we're receiving good news on Janet, positive results. Johnny Barbecue, we're praying for your daughter Caitlin, speedy recovery from her hand surgery. John Vitale, your father-in-law John Kane, and your brother Frank. Joanne, one of the cigar suppliers here at Smoke Therapy, we're praying for Angel, who had an eye stroke. Mike, we're praying for your dad. We're praying for Ralph's Aunt Doris. We're also going to be praying with this new addition, Vinny's mom, who's in the hospital, 85 years young. We're praying that she recovers well. And we're going to pray for Terry on the passing of your aunt. Angie's family sends their love and their regards, Terry. And that concludes Angie's Angles prayer circle this week. Oh, Mark, you lived in Waterbury. That explains a lot, Mark. We have to have a conversation about. Well, I don't know if it was there when you got married, but I don't know if you know Holytown and the cross on the top of the hill. We definitely got to talk about Waterbury, my friend. Not very, very strange town. Anyway, so this is my little take on Juan Soto and the amazing comparison between the first 50 games with the Padres and the first 50 games with the Mets. It's, in my opinion, quite uncanny. This has been Angie's Angles, come to you live like we always try to do. Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. Good night. God bless. I love you. Terry, we got to talk to you about Waterbury.